Hello and welcome back to the channel where we have the most basic intros on the face of the earth. Yesterday was the NFL draft, and on Wednesday I did a video which was my NFL mock draft one day before the NFL draft. So you would expect, hey, if it's one day before the NFL draft, he probably got a lot of things right, correct? No, I did not. My mock draft was very bad. Tan means it went to the right team, but at the wrong pick, so they either traded the pick or they didn't trade down. Uh, Red is obviously wrong, and right is obviously great. So, number one, consensus pick, there was no debate over this, which was like the analysts at the draft were saying that there was okay, so you could go Jane Daniels here, and I would go Jane Daniels here. I'm like, you are high, you are wrong. How do you do this for a living if you're going to take Jane Daniels over Caleb Williams? No, I would take Drake May over Jane Daniels. So I got Caleb Williams to the Bears, right? I got Jane Daniels to the Commanders, right? Drake May to the Patriots, right? Those were all Caleb Williams to the Bears was consensus. Jane Daniels and Drake May could have gone 1 and 2. I could have gone 2 and 3, or three like Drake May then Jane Daniels, or Jane Daniels and Drake May. It wasn't completely consensus. Then in my mock draft, I had the Vikings trading up, which they did end up doing, but only for one slot at number 10 overall. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is wrong because I had it where he wouldn't go to the Cardinals because the Cardinals were going to trade, but they didn't end up trading. And then Chargers ended up taking Joe Alt, which was confusing to me. I didn't think that was smart. Malik Nabers to the Giants, I thought that was pretty consensus. It wasn't actually. Because if I had chosen where the Cardinals wouldn't trade, and they were just to take Marvin Harrison Jr., then I would have had Malik Nabers going to the Chargers. But they went with Marvin Harrison Jr., and then Malik Nabers still didn't go to the Chargers. Joe Alt went to the Chargers. But Malik Nabers, that was a pretty easy prediction. Then Joe Alt obviously went to the Chargers, so they took J.C. Latham, who I had at 31. So I thought that was an awful pick. Dallas Turner was at 8 for me. He ended up going like 15 to the Vikings or whatever, who traded up from 23. Then Rome Odunze I correctly predicted would go to the Bears. It was very strange because I had the scenario that I would have done if the Cardinals had taken Marvin Harrison Jr. in my mock. I would have gone Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals, Malik Nabers to the Chargers, and then Rome Odunze to the Giants. But that didn't end up happening. It was, again, Marvin Harrison, then Joe Alt, then Malik Nabers, and then Rome Odunze all the way down at 9. Number 10, I had Olu Fashanu going to the Jets. They ended up trading this pick with the Vikings, who went up to get J.J. McCarthy, so that's a tan check mark for the Vikings and a tan check mark for the Jets, because I thought that they would get these two guys. I think Olu Fashanu is the best tackle in the class. I don't care what you say. I am biased. I am a Penn State fan, but I don't care what you say. Terrion Arnold ended up going like 25 or 24 or whatever. Yeah, I think it was 24 to the Lions, who traded up. I had him going at 11, which is quite a far overshoot. But then Brian Thomas Jr., I had the Bills trading up for him. That did not end up happening. And Bo Nix, who I had going at 28 to the Broncos, ended up getting picked at 12 by the Broncos. I thought that Penix was the stupidest pick of all time for the Falcons. Because if you're a win now team, you shouldn't take a quarterback that won't start for you in at least 3 years. Tallis Fuaga to the Raiders in my mock, but they ended up going with Brock Bowers, which I don't. No, well, I understand it. I understand the pick much more than some other people do, because I think Brock Bowers will play more of a power slot or kind of a slot, while Michael Mayer will be in their inline tight end. Because Brock Bowers is an elite receiving prospect and he's an elite athlete. So I think you can move him all over the place. Yeah. Then the Colts, I don't remember who they went with. Saints went with, I don't remember. But anyways, I just like Quinyon Mitchell to the Jags he ended up going at 22 to the Eagles. I had the corners going a lot higher than they did in real life. But they ended up getting Brian Thomas Jr., which I love. So I think that going into this year, this is Trevor Lawrence's make or break year. If he doesn't show out this year, he's not going to be their franchise quarterback. He has elite weapons in Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, uh, Brian Thomas Jr. He has these elite weapons. He needs to show out. And then my prediction that some people didn't love the prediction, I did. They ended up actually trading up with the Bills, I think it was, to get him, Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs. I think that's going to be a great pairing, him and Patrick Mahomes. They have a really speedy wide receiver room now with Xavier Worthy and Marquise Brown. Chop Robinson ended up going to the Dolphins, I think. Yeah, he ended up going to the Dolphins, which again I love because he's an athletic freak and he's a Penn Stater, so I'm hoping he develops like crazy. I hope he becomes this top level pass rusher just because I love Penn State and that would be really fun. I know for a fact that I'm excited to use Olu Fashanu in franchise mode, which sounds really weird. Why would you be excited to use a left tackle in franchise? It's because he's a Penn Stater. And this year I had a Penn State rebuild where I took only Penn State players in a franchise. Like I could only use Penn State players in a franchise, and I could only use players drafted out of Penn State in the actual drafts. And my O line was trash for the entire time. But now with Olu Fashanu, it's gonna be like. Anyways, I just want to say, my mock draft sucked. Have a great day, and I will probably post another video tomorrow, or maybe even later today. Yep. Bye.